Hey, welcome back to the show. I didn't realize it was that loud. My mic's on. I've been saying some really bad stuff about a lot of people, and I apologize in advance. I was planning to announce my campaign today. That will not happen because of this issue, so I apologize. Anyway, welcome back to Content Marketing World Chatter, brought to you by the good folks at Riot Studio. That's singular with just one, but that's all right. Shaf Islam is with us today. He runs NewsCred, and you were celebrating your 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's true. Great to be here. I have spent the majority of my adult life doing NewsCred, is what I just realized. So 10 years happened a few months ago. We celebrated.
Was there a big blowout? Did you have? And we wish we had balloons here and like a bear.
No, the bear's coming out soon.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, there's a guy in a costume back there.
Right.
There wasn't a blowout. So we do a huge annual event every year called Think Content. So we did a special one because it was our 10-year anniversary, and you happened to be there.
I was there. Listen, that was a fun event. That was a blast.
It's something that we spend a lot of time, money, and we put some amount of thought into it because it's how we give back to the community. We try and get good content on stage. It's our content marketing, just happens to be on stage versus a website.
Yes, yeah, on stage, and you picked a really hip location, right down there by the Freedom Tower.
Yep.
And it was, I think by hip, did you just lower the lights? Is that what makes it hip? People were bumping into each other.
We made it smaller, a little bit more intimate.
Yeah.
We've been doing that event now for almost since we started. At some point it got like Super Bowl size, like thousands of people. But we think, we want to create connections amongst marketers, and you can't talk to 2,000 people, right? But,
hey, in your opening keynote, I appreciated what you said there about the importance of teams and how you need to encourage teams and how we really need to think differently about that, about how our teams work together.
So I have a hypothesis. I think we spend so much time thinking about how do we make the content high performing. We've somehow forgotten that actually it's high performing teams that are creating high performing content, right? So in almost every industry, whether it's how it works in the military is one of the examples I use in my talk, but in the Mayo Clinic, they provide team-based care. In every function, like if you have effective teams, I think the work they produce is better. And for content marketing, I think there's opportunity for us, or marketing in general, to work better together.
Yeah, I think teams, I'm quite cynical on teamwork and the word collaboration because a lot of my experiences at large corporations, and I think unfortunately there are some natural barriers that occur based on how the compensation system works. Unfortunately, I think we're rewarded on individual contribution.
So that's interesting. I have another hypothesis about this. I have a lot of hypotheses. I think the person at the top wants teamwork, and the people doing the work want teamwork. There's just this fuzzy layer in between that are trying to protect kind of their silos or their channels and their jobs, and that's what messes it up. But I would say there's an opportunity to fix it, and I think marketing. Here's the other thing. I think marketing has set up their team structures in a way that almost encourages competition because we're divided by channels. Like, well, that's my social team, that's my event team, that's my digital ad team. Each team has their own KPIs, they're trying to measure their own outcomes, and they're trying to get better attribution. And so inherently it's set up to almost fight for more budget, right? Versus I think there's a way to do collaboration, I know you don't like that word, but where they're not inherently competing. And I think integrated marketing, it's a term you're going to start hearing more. I think that's the future.
You also kind of hinted at a soft launch at Think Content.
Yeah, and it's soft launch at Think Content, and official big launch actually here yesterday. So we launched the integrated marketing edition of our software. So we believe in this concept of kind of better teams create better content so much, we wanted to do something about it. So we built software that kind of brings together all marketing teams, not just the content marketing teams, allows them to collaborate around content, get visibility and transparency. A lot of the things I talked about in my keynote is just around how do we introduce more visibility across teams, and then how do we empower people to make better decisions with data. And so we built a lot of capabilities around it. And some of the things that marketers I think need to do better is plan better, plan more integrated campaigns, and ultimately it's going to be better for the consumer because you won't get a disjointed customer experience.
Are you speaking to me personally about planning? That seems like a personal attack.
And
maybe I'm just insecure because I'm not a planner.
Most people, you'll be amazed, most people are not good at planning, and that translates into their work.
Oh, I know. Look. I think in marketing teams, you have a lot of people that tend to be creative, and I think along with that, it comes, you know, they're not a INTJ if you look at a Myers-Briggs scale, right?
I've never figured out what any of those letters mean, but
I don't know either.
I is introvert.
I may have made that up. It's the I. Yeah, that's right. So there you go. It's that kind of thing. But I think you don't have people like that. They're not so. Planning doesn't come naturally for a lot of people in the marketing department because they tend to be a little more creative. So I think when you bring that into a tool and build that functionality in.
Well, some of it's just visibility. If people are doing all their planning in a spreadsheet that's attached to an email that sits in their personal inbox, how can you possibly collaborate? Right. So you got to have some sort of shared source of truth that people can look at. And simple things like that, I think, make a big difference. I'll give you an example of where it goes wrong, where it impacts the customer. If, let's say there's a team that's doing out-of-home advertising, right? They're doing something in the subway. They're running a subway ad campaign. You look at the ad and you're like, okay, there's some campaign running, and then you go home and you go to the website, and that's a different team, the digital web team. Those guys have no idea that the subway team is running a campaign, so nothing on the site aligns to the thing that you just saw in the subway. And then there's a search team that's bidding on different keywords, and they have a different offer, and so when you go and put in the code that you saw in the subway, like, you know, buyourproduct.com/subway, thing doesn't work. I mean, this disjointed customer experience, I think, is really frustrating, and people expect more from brands.
Right, and so you've got some built-in governors there that will facilitate that. So you look a lot better.
It sounded like you said governors, but I think you meant governance.
That's exactly what I meant.
All right. Yes, we do. It'd be great if we also had some governors in there watching everything now.
We're talking to a couple of guys in Arkansas, the governor of Arkansas. We're getting some people
involved. Yeah, governance is a big thing. Integrated campaigns, better planning calendars, allowing different teams to produce all sorts of content, not just content for your editorial site or your blog, but content could be on your, ads, social, email, all of these teams.
Yeah. So how do you expect customers to see a big difference in this?
I think customers expect more personalized, more consistent experiences across any touch point they have with their brand. I know it sounds a little jargony, but it's as simple as those touch points that I just talked about. Yeah. Subway, website, search ad, social, email. If those things don't look and feel the same, if the messaging is not the same, I think people tune off and they get frustrated. People expect, and then they also expect personalized experiences. We live in a world where, take Netflix. Do you remember the last time you did a search on Netflix?
I do, actually.
Okay, you're supposed to say no.
I don't. No, gosh, if I link back.
Yeah, you just you've never done so. People actually don't do searches often at Netflix because the experience is so personalized, where it says, like, you watch this show, here's more like it. You like this actor, here's more like this. Your wife watched this show, here's more like it. They're extremely good at tagging their content and surfacing the things that you may want, like discovery. Same thing with Amazon, that you bought something and here's all these other things that you might be interested in. I think people want those types of experiences now. Marketers have to give it to them.
They do. But we got to keep our kids from getting on our Netflix accounts, because I get a lot of suggestions. You might like Dora the Explorer. I'll get caught up in that for hours, by the way.
So Moana is super hot right now.
Yes.
In my household.
Okay, we'll tune into that.
I know all the songs, so if you want.
Is it true that about 87% of campaigns on the subway are graffiti? Maybe those stats are off. Let me come back to you.
That might be true.
All right, we need some data governance on that, if you will.
We do.
And I said governance this time. So, hey, how can we find out? How can we find out and learn a little bit more about this?
Actually, we have a webinar today. I swear we did not plan it, but we do have a webinar. If you go to our website, it's about integrated marketing. It's to help marketers figure out what is integrated marketing, like what are these words and how do I do it better. It's this afternoon, and we're doing another version for the UK tomorrow morning. Go to newscred.com and you can learn more about it.
Okay. What are the odds of me getting a 10-minute comedy set in on that webinar? Is it packed on the agenda? Is that
no, odds are high. We leave a 10-minute slot in everything we do for
comedy.
Tim Washer. Yeah.
Love that, man.
Yeah. All right.
Shah, thank you so much for coming out on the
All
show.
right, that was fun.
You all stand by for your local weather on the 8th. Thank you.
I said, well, I'll just walk up and down the hall. That worked great. Because then I got to see everybody.
People can come and say,
took the pictures, and then that was fun. You can't sit down and wait for people. You have to, if I look like I'm just walking the hall.
Hey, welcome back to Content Marketing World Chatter, brought to you by the good folks at Riot Studio. I'm here with Mr. Professor Joe Polizzi, who, Joe, is this your third Content Marketing World?
Yes, it's actually, I'm a first timer.
You're a first timer. Hey, we're glad to have you. It's a good show, huh?
It's number 8. Number 8, yes.
You know, it's kind of funny that I was talking to Nicole Bump, and she was here I met her in 2014 here, and she was commenting about how quickly it had grown from 2011, and that's nuts.
Well, you know, yeah, we basically, in 2011, we reserved an office room. It was very small. There was a couple desks and some chairs. We're like, maybe people will come and we can fit. That would have been enough. But you know, we had 600 that year, and then it grew and grew and grew, and now I don't know what they have, 4,000 plus. It's been a magical ride. But just the best part of the people. I have not been around another community of people that are willing to share their experiences and their advice, and there's the lack of competition between marketing folks. I mean, you've been to sales conferences.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to watch yourself there.
Yes.
But here, they're just all so nice. It's fantastic.
Yes. That's why I no longer wear a Rolex. I don't want to talk about it, but I was in Sarasota in '83. And,
well, Sarasota is a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's going to get you.
Yeah.
That's going to get you. Strangers in a Strange land.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. How's that shaped your life?
Oh my God. Have you read that book?
I haven't. I just learned about kissing Mike. Yep. So that's all I know.
Robert Heinlein, I read that in high school. It's a game changer. I recommend it for anyone. That's where I learned the art of focus. There are many parts of that book that talk about if you really believe in something and you're focused on something, you can change the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a science fiction book, but that's where I sort of learned the mentality of, yeah, you can do 10 things at once and be okay at them, but if you want to be truly great at something and change the world, you have to focus on that one thing. And that stayed with me. I've read that book 10 times, and there's certain parts of it that I'm like, wow, hit me every time. And so I absolutely love that book.
You know, I love what you said in the keynote yesterday about your phone, putting that on the table. And there was some research from MIT a few years ago that says, just putting your phone on the table, if I come in here and put my phone on the table, immediately I have shut down any opportunity for us to have an intimate conversation, because you might be afraid that, well, if you share something very intimate with me, I'm going to get a call.
Yep.
So you're not even going to go there. It stops us from even evolving our friendship.
Well, it's if you put the phone on a table, and now it's a conversation of 3. It's not just you and I. There's another thing here, because that's what we've made that into. And I really started to notice that. And I mean, most people do. You get there, you put all your stuff on, you can put your iPad, you put your phone on you don't realize that that is a distraction. Even if nothing happens, that's a distraction. And then I saw some article that said, oh, well, you turn it down, face down. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to see more people not have it on them during the day. I don't think we realize that if you look at, all the horrible addictions that are going on in the world right now, and there's a lot of bad things. One of the worst things really is we're addicted to our smartphones, and we're addicted to a relationship with this thing, and I would like to see more people shut it off and be present. And I can say that because it was hard. In January I did a 30-day electronics-free sabbatical, if you will.
Betty 420.
And I was a little shaky the first couple days. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And then once you get past that point, you're like, wow, I really noticed. My wife was kidding me. She's like, you noticed that the laundry needed to move to the dryer. And I said, yeah, of course, that's no big deal. She says, you've never noticed that before. I'm like, oh, I didn't. You know, you did the dishes. I'm like, yeah, the dishes needed to be done. You didn't ever see that there were dirty dishes. I didn't know this.
Yes, and
But
you're like-
apparently there were things around the house that needed to be done.
Right, and you
Yeah.
realize, wait a minute, Pam lives there. And it opens your eyes to a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm
things.
like, oh my God, I have 2 kids.
I'm-
I had no idea that was a thing.
Maybe I should shut my phone off and see about offspring.
Yeah, you
Just
might
check
have
in on
another
that.
child going around the house and you just
I
had
should
no
look.
no
I've been
idea.
contacted by a few attorneys, and I just never. I wanted to kind of blank that out,
Yeah.
so I'll do that.
Exactly.
Hey, you talk a lot about Napoleon Hill. Like 2 years ago, I think you mentioned him in your
I did.
keynote as well, and I read that. I need to go back and read that book again. Actually,
Think
when
and
I
Grow
went-
Rich. Yeah.
I probably read about 20 years ago. And it really is powerful, the stories in there about writing down goals. And I really appreciate the fact that you made it really easy for people yesterday. You know, you put a little journal on everybody's seat. And I was sitting back there and I saw everybody was picking them up.
Did they?
and
Oh,
started
that's good to
writing.
hear.
And it's like, man, it's just a nice reminder that you really have to take these steps and
Well,
start.
what I was concerned about, it's good to hear. What I was concerned about is that the speech was too simplistic. I mean, to just record something down, then repeat it, and then remove all the obstacles in your way so that you can do
Okay.
great things. And I was reviewing, and I'm like, this is too simple. No, I mean, we need more complexity, and that's what I heard was, look, this is something you can actually do. And going
Yeah.
back to Napoleon Hill, that's why that book is still a bestseller every year, because it can be done, and you just have to do the work. It's like, okay, why are successful people successful? Well, they write down the things they want to
Right.
accomplish. Every day they get up and they review it before they go to bed. They review, this is what I want to be in, who I want to be in my life, and then, well, how do I get there? Well, the distractions like spending time on social media or watching
Yeah.
television or the things that aren't really important. I need to be spending my time on changing the world. Well, I have the time, I just need to, it's like I talked about yesterday. Everybody says, I don't have enough time. Well, you do.
Right.
How are you spending your day? The New York Times person was just talking in the keynote here about 7.5 hours of time that we spend with media a day. I mean, what could you be doing in you could be knitting scarves. You could be doing lots of things in 7.5 hours. And so take 2 hours. What could you do? When I did the little stat about we watch 3 hours of television a day,
Yeah.
and I like to play math with it. Okay, that's 1,100 hours a year. And if you live to be 80 years old, that's 10 hours of solid time of you watching television. That's what the average person does. They lose 10 hours of time, and we got things to do,
Yeah.
right? So there you go.
That's something I need to work on right there, for sure.
So I have to stop watching the Cleveland Browns lose every Sunday.
You need
Just think
to.
what we could do.
Yes, you should switch over to Sanford and Son reruns. I think that would.
But that's valuable time spent.
That is, you're
Yeah.
learning, you're growing, you're getting into personal
Any
skills.
sitcom from the 70s, you're
That's
probably
right.
okay with.
You know,
Yeah.
you look at how he interacts, how he respects Aunt Esther, and you can take those rules. and
Oh,
apply them to your
Elizabeth.
life. I'm coming to join you. All right, listen. Anything you want to share with us in closing?
I think we've.
Is that it?
we've-
Is it
we've-
true now you only travel by helicopter?
Well,
that's a
only when I have to get somewhere quickly,
Very
which never
quickly.
happens anymore.
Is it
I
true
never
you
have
own
to
a
be anywhere.
Batmobile?
I've actually sat in one, but I haven't purchased it
okay.
yet. It's in negotiation.
Is it okay?
We're still thinking about it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's up to my wife whether she wants to buy it or not.
You know what I would do? I'd write it down. as a goal.
I am going to own the Batmobile.
Yes, and then look at it. In the
It could
morning.
happen. I wanted to paint it orange, but for some reason they had a problem with that.
You can get it done.
Yeah, I'm sure it can happen.
Put a call
Anything's
in.
possible.
Yeah.
Believe in your dreams.
That's right. All right, we're going to try to get you to come back later today, do a seance with Napoleon Hill, and just kind of have if we can get a 3-camera shoot on
Oh
that.
my God, I'm totally into that.
All right, we're going
Let's
to
make it happen.
We're going to set it up.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Joe, for making time for
Thank
us.
you,
You're really
Tim.
hard to get at this show. I didn't know if you were coming this.
Yeah,
you just
I-
never make it
yeah,
to
who
Cleveland
knew?
anymore. So
Who knew?
yeah, that's great. All right, and we'll go back again. Traffic, your local traffic's coming up shortly, and thanks for watching us. Okay. Hey, welcome back to Content Marketing World Chatter, brought to you by the good folks at Riot Studio. We are here with the Tim Hayden, which, is that still your Twitter handle?
That's still my Twitter handle.
Yeah. I'd like to see the real Tim Hayden because I think you're at that celebrity status now.
Well, I don't know about celebrity, but certainly renown.
Renown's fair. Listen, I want to talk right up front about the rumors about you running for Texas governor.
Well, I don't think the rumors are either true or unsubstantiated.
We'll just leave it at that. That's fair.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I had a few things I need to do before that happens.
Sure.
I need to let a little time pass.
Absolutely. From the scandal.
From the scandal.
Yes.
Scandals.
Yep, scandals, plural. We're going to go to a documentary here shortly.
Yes.
With some very grainy footage of you running. So we'll get to that shortly. Look, speaking of a background that you don't want to talk about, I think we met, it was just before you went to Edelman to run the mobile practice.
Right.
And I saw you at Jason Falls. I think I met you at one of Jason Falls events, speak there. And I got to tell you, it was one of the most structured story that you shared on here's some knowledge, here's the knowledge that you really need to know about this story. Here's how it's going to make a difference to people's lives. And as a marketer, here's how you can play a role to making things better for them.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's not really a question.
No, it's not, but
accusation.
No, but I appreciate that. That's to me, marketers have gone about marketing in general, mobile marketing specifically, through a linear technological lens, right? They think it's the device. I need to optimize things for that small screen. And as you know from that talk that day, and a little bit of what will come out today here at Content Marketing World, is it's not the device, it's the person on the other side of it, and there's much more at play than just what happens on the supercomputer they carry around in their pocket.
Yeah.
But it's still a supercomputer.
It is, yes. And now look, what are you looking for in the years to come on how we're going to change the experience there? What are the folks at Brain Trust Partners helping your clients think about?
Sure, no, I mean, that's what we do, is we're helping our clients understand that this explosion in the Internet of Things, which now is something physical that people can wrap their heads around. It's smart speakers in the home, it's wearable devices, and now it's connected vehicles. That mobile it's a verb, not a noun, right? It's no longer just the smartphone or the tablet. It's that you have all these other touch points, many of them voice activated, all of them constantly sharing our whereabouts and being in the right moment from an impulse or convenience standpoint for consumers to make decisions. So it is behavioral in nature. Again, not trying to hang yourself up on the speaker, the smartwatch, the smart television, any of these things as media themselves, but as where is the person, what is their disposition, and what will the masses be doing 6 months from now? What do we need to build and prepare for that?
So as we move into connected vehicles, I mean, is there going to be a way for me to retrofit my 78 El Camino?
I thought you had a 77, right?
Like a half a mile.
Is that a 350?
Downhill.
Is that a 351 Cleveland or a Windsor?
Oh, it's a Windsor 7750, I believe.
Edelbrock intake, right?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. How are you helping clients think about? All right, not everybody's going to have this latest technology.
Correct.
So, what can we do? I assume you're looking at several different layers of technology adopters,
right?
And how far they are along. You help clients think through that and think, okay, we need this offering, for the more avant-garde players, and then we got Luddites over here. We need to make sure we don't leave them behind, but still offer something.
Well, I've never used the term avant-garde. Is that avant?
That's who makes my ties. That's a tie brand.
I don't think I've ever used that.
Okay.
But no.
It's considered profanity in 3 countries in Europe.
It is,
yes.
and I've only been to one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But we have a 4-second lag on this thing, at least for our European audits.
What?
I don't know. You go ahead.
So, no, it's about understanding the data you have on your current customers. I think this is, marketing has been strung up as this this method of acquiring new business, new customers, and most marketers are solely focused on building an audience through people they don't know, or of people they don't know. And the ability to analyze all the data you're already sitting on, all the people who subscribe to your newsletters, who have bought something on your website, who've participated in the sweepstakes, who have walked through your store and the smart Wi-Fi or the beacon in the store has picked them up as they walked in because they downloaded your mobile app. All of these touch points offer you a glimpse into who your customer is and a touch point to ask them questions about their preferences, their needs, their wants, and to be able to identify the avant-garde is to be able to understand which of your customers have the most consistent, frequent, or influential behavior to steer us in our decision making and ultimately to lead us to a larger customer audience.
So let's say for the attendees here, for the marketer who attends this show, what's the one question they should ask themselves about their current situation and to help them transition to this new era?
I think we've had over the last 6 months, we've had the Cambridge Analytica scandal. If we want to call that a scandal. We know scandals.
We do.
Yeah, but bottom line is the delicacy of the fragility, if we would call it that, of customer data and customer privacy. On top of what came out of Europe with global data privacy regulations, that actually is a godsend to marketers today to be able to get all of their data together. The way the customer data platform market has grown up in the last 18 months gives marketers the opportunity now to say, of the 10 different point solutions, marketing automation, CRM, email, social, mobile app management, everything that they're using right now to be able to have all that data come into one place and truly understand who their customers are. So that's a long answer of saying what I would ask everybody here is how well do you know your current customers? Beyond just click data and impressionistic insights, if we can even call them insights, because most people are only looking at numbers in terms of traffic and volume. Do they really understand who their customers are other than general volume and dashboard analytics?
Right. So take the quantitative, but add a layer of qualitative on top of that. Actually go speak to some customers, focus groups, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So you understand like what is behind the choice that leads to that number that they have.
That's right. Well, our sister company, Brain Trust Insights, Christopher Penn and his team are able to come in once we've convinced someone to be able to take data from disparate places, from different platforms, different business units, departments, and bring that data together to then apply machine learning or artificial intelligence to it to have the robots hold a focus group, if you will. To be able to say, what is it that makes this group of things, this group of data interesting? What is it that is special or common amongst these people that's not showing up on a dashboard, whatever else? In addition to what you already said, going out and performing some qualitative research and understanding what people really want and how they actually feel, answering the why questions.
All right, listen, we got to throw it to a Meineke commercial. So we're going to leave it there. Tim Hayden, thank you for coming on the show, for coming all the way up from Austin just for this interview, and we're very grateful, brother.
Thanks for having me, Tim Washer.
All right, take care.
All right.
And scene. I think we got it.